Welcome in What's Right with Nick Wright, a quick Monday morning pod after what was a remarkable and unbelievable weekend of NBA basketball, and also the weekend that almost assuredly marked the end of the Los Angeles Lakers season. And that's not even because I think necessarily they are drawing dead to execute a 3-1 comeback. They're obviously drawing very slim, but I don't think they are at 0%. However, the present they will get if they somehow do execute a 3-1 comeback with a rotation that clearly only has 5 players the head coach trusts is either going to be the Golden State Warriors or the Houston Rockets, both of which present massive problems for this team in this moment. And if you were like me, and you really thought this team's high end was not just conference finals caliber, not just NBA finals caliber, but championship caliber, this weekend was a hard punch in the face about that. And if you want to chalk up Friday to, man, Luka was sick and played like it and didn't have it, and they ran out of gas at the end, fine. But then Sunday presented far more problems, issues, concerns that obviously, as they now face elimination games for the rest of their season, and the only way to not face elimination games the rest of their season is to win 3 straight elimination games and then get a fresh start after a 7-game war, then you've got to be honest about what we're seeing. And I want to give credit where it's due. Anthony Edwards is having his moment. And I know people here want to hear probably, me talk about LeBron and Luka and the end of that game, and we will. But Anthony Edwards, 43 points, 43, 9, and 6, going to war with LeBron throughout the game, suffering what the broadcast seemed to think was a catastrophic injury, and Anthony in the moment reacted like it was a catastrophic injury. Everyone's heart sank when they saw it, and he pops up. It doesn't matter. He plays 44 minutes, is brilliant in the fourth quarter, and that has been the key to this series. And obviously the key to Game 4 is the Timberwolves, a team that was not good in clutch situations, closing out games. It's really where you thought the Lakers were going to have a decided advantage in this series, was let it be close late and have LeBron and Luka take over. The opposite has happened. It's been close late the last couple games. LeBron and Luka have been absolutely out of gas, and Anthony Edwards has taken over. Julius Randle exercising some playoff demons, and now you're in a spot that I don't think anyone anticipated. Even the most ardent Timberwolves fans, even after they took Game 1, I don't think thought it would be 3-1 in this fashion going back to Los Angeles. And so let's get into Game 4. And by the way, we'll talk. Steph played one of the most remarkable playoff games of his career this weekend. We'll get into that. Dame tragically tore his Achilles. That's probably, we're going to get into that more tomorrow. And obviously Nuggets Clippers with a finish for the ages. So we'll try to quickly hit on all those. But where we have to start is with JJ Redick. And I am not going to act as if JJ hasn't been awesome this year. He has. And I'm not going to act as if that JJ Redick is the problem for the Lakers. Far from it. However, when a rookie head coach does something that, according to, the stats and information folks, no coach has ever done in modern playoff history, maybe in all of playoff history, which is play the exact same 5 guys for the entirety of a second half of a playoff game, and then those 5 guys are totally, absolutely, unequivocally out of gas at the end, that's going to be a story. And JJ was left without a lot of great options. He decided after the opening couple minutes, understandably, he couldn't trust Jackson Hayes. I thought he would try to steal a few minutes for LeBron or Luka with Vanderbilt or Gabe or even Goodwin. He decided not to. And he was in a weird spot because the Lakers had that great third quarter, which allowed them to go into the fourth with a lead, a position they've been brilliant all year. I don't know what the record was, something like 45-4 or something outrageous, going into the fourth quarter with a lead. They outscore the Timberwolves by 13, and I think JJ's thought process was, if we can, in the opening few minutes of the fourth, hold or even push this lead a bit, then maybe I'll steal a couple minutes of rest. But that's not what happened. Ant kept coming down and making plays. The Timberwolves stayed right in that down 4 to down 7 range. And JJ never felt comfortable taking those 5 off the court. And by the very end of the game, they were all on fumes. LeBron somehow found a couple bursts of energy on the defensive end, the steal and the block, and I thought that was going to be the story of the game. That LeBron, after his, I think, 104th career playoff 20-point half, plays a wildly efficient game, 27, 12, and 8, and then makes the key defensive plays down the stretch to turn a 4-point deficit into a 6-point lead after the huge Austin and Rui threes. But of course, that's not what happened. And you saw the fatigue kicking in at various moments before the final couple of minutes. Luka got, I think it was Jaden McDaniels on his hip, or maybe it was Julius, had a layup, missed it. LeBron out of a timeout, great play, had a layup, missed it. And I said it was Austin and Rui that hit the three. It was Austin and Dorian Finney-Smith that hit the threes. But despite all of that, it's Lakers up 2 with the ball after the LeBron block with 1:10 left. And yeah, this is a keep you up at night, restless, bad sleep game, because there's so many moments that you just wonder, man, if they just do this a little bit better, change one thing. And by the way, those moments existed in the first half. I was watching the game with my best friend and coworker at FS1, Danny Parkins, over at his house. And the whole first half, even in the first quarter when they were leading, I said to him, 4 minutes left in the first quarter, man, they should be up 13. They should be up 15. And this is going to end up being a situation where they're up 7 and you feel sick about it. They were only actually up 4 at the end of that quarter. Then the second quarter, the Timberwolves go on their run. All of a sudden, you're trailing at the half. Then they do have that great third quarter. And now to get back to where we were, the highest leverage possession of the season for the Lakers ends up being no real ball movement, guys standing around, Luka dribbling the ball, up 2, minute left, finds LeBron. LeBron takes an exhausted 3. And I understand, there is going to be a carve out of folks that either, why doesn't he drive there? Or that focus on LeBron's fourth quarter 0 points and the turnover, which I'll get to in a moment, which I understand. And I'm not even saying that's totally unfair. I am saying that when the last 2 games LeBron has played are the 2 greatest playoff games by a super old guy in league history, I'm going to have a little bit of grace. But The LeBron 3 with 54 seconds left. In that spot, you wonder, when JJ sees that possession's going nowhere and sees how dead everybody is that a time to use your final timeout? Probably not. You probably don't want to use your last timeout in that spot. But if you get a basket there, you win the game. Then next time, Timberwolves ball, up to 40 seconds left, the Lakers understand just can't allow a 3. You don't allow a 3, you're going to be in great shape, tied with the ball with a 2-for-1 opportunity. They don't allow a 3, and Austin makes his biggest mistake of the season, fouling Jaden McDaniels on a no hope to alter the shot foul. Jaden, to his credit, makes the free throw, and now all of a sudden you're trailing. For the first time in basically the entirety of the second half, after the opening few minutes when you took the lead in the second half. Oh, that's not true. You were trailing a couple minutes earlier. But you're trailing with 40 seconds left. Down 1 with the ball. Luka gets tripped. I'll be honest, I disagree with JJ. I don't think it was a foul. I think it was fine that they didn't call that. LeBron with the bad inbounds pass. And then this is the one I just hate. The challenge, the out of bounds call that now can retroactively turn into a foul. All of a sudden, Anthony Edwards going to the line. He was a killer. He makes both free throws. And then the Lakers, I thought, got lucky that the Timberwolves didn't foul Luka in the backcourt or foul LeBron as on the catch. Austin got a decent look. He missed it. Now you're down 3-1. And you still see moments, flashes from this team that show the highest end. And I understand some folks are going to say, listen, we knew this was a mismatched roster. When you traded for a guy at midseason, that you need an offseason. I don't buy all that. Or maybe I should buy it, but I knew all that going into these playoffs. I thought they got the perfect draw. I thought the Timberwolves would be athletic and feisty, but I did not think that in close games late, they would have the edge, and they have. And I looked at the Lakers' path and I said, okay, you have the Timberwolves in round 1 with home court. You have been dominant against the Western Conference this year. You have been dominant at home this year. Then in round 2, you're going to have either a young Rockets team that doesn't have a go-to scorer or a Warriors team where, again, you have home court, and the Warriors will have just been coming off a 7-game absolute war with Houston. You saw a real path. A real path. And instead, Friday night, they waste a LeBron masterpiece where they can't finish at the end, a 13-1 run. Luka's sick and pretty ineffective. Ant is once again awesome. Another 8-assist game for Ant Friday night. Jaden McDaniels has the game of his life, almost all targeting Luka. Julius has another good playoff game. You lose that fourth quarter by 10. LeBron seems gassed the final few minutes there, despite giving you 38, 10, 4, 2, and 2. And then Sunday afternoon, JJ goes for it. The smallest interval between games they'll have all postseason, from a Friday night to a Sunday afternoon. JJ, understanding we have 2 days off before Game 5, gotta win this, goes for it, plays Austin, Luka, LeBron, Rui, and Dorian all 24 minutes of the second half, and they can't hit the tape. And can they win Wednesday? Yeah, they should. And if they win Wednesday, will I be on here Thursday feeling like, well, you got a shot Friday and then it's a game 7 in your building? Yeah, maybe. But if the goal for this Lakers team, and this was the goal, when you have LeBron James, I don't care that he's 40, he is still unequivocally, top 8 playoff guy right now, this moment? Like, I'm not sure what's the full list of guys this postseason who you'd say either have been better or you'd rather have. In no particular order, just going through the series. Tatum, Giannis, Ant. Ant's earned it. Joker, Steph, who I'll get to, there's an argument for it. Fair is fair. Kawhi, maybe. Jalen Brunson. So what's that? 7, 6, 7, 8? When you have, even at his age, a guy who's still a top 8, let's go conservatively, playoff performer this moment, and Luka getting bounced in round 1 when you're a minus 200 favorite is a disaster. And even if somehow you are able to dig deep and overcome and come back from this deficit, what legs are you going to have going into round 2 when the series basically start going every other day? I don't know that you're going to have them. And so that's why I started the pod by saying the season ended on Sunday. They needed the round 1 to be done in 6 or less. And they needed to demonstrate to themselves and their team that they had at least 7 guys they trusted. Even if you don't trust Jackson Hayes, who I wouldn't, you got to at least trust Vanderbilt or Vincent more than you have. And they haven't. They can't steal minutes. It's why I thought Kerr, as brilliant, and I'll get to Steph shortly, as brilliant as Steph was this weekend, all the games are running together. Was that Saturday? Was that Friday? I don't even remember. Friday night? Saturday night? Kerr deserves massive credit himself for finding his way through without Jimmy Butler, for massaging the rotation the way he did. And the Lakers didn't think they had that luxury. They play 4 guys 40-plus minutes. They play Luka, coming off whatever illness he was dealing with, 46. They play LeBron in his 284th career playoff game, 46. And they don't get to the finish line. And it's just a damn shame to waste. And this is, and then I'll get to Ant. We're all focused on LeBron. Every single one of these, man, every single time we're watching, we might be watching the final great playoff game of the greatest playoff performer in NBA history's career. Like Friday night, the odds are that's the most points LeBron will ever score in a playoff game again. None of the records at this point, it's just he's just passing his own oldest ever records again and again and again. But 38 on Friday night, that's like a minus 300 favorite to be the most points LeBron ever scores in a playoff game the rest of his career. Sunday afternoon, 27-12, 8, 3, and 3. The best Laker on the defensive end, and arguably the best Laker on the offensive end, and it's wasted. And listen, LeBron missed the 3. LeBron turned the ball over on the inbounds, and LeBron, I suppose you can say, fouled Anthony Edwards. That one I'm not going to kill him on. I thought that us going to the Zapruder review and the Timberwolves challenging the out of bounds, not even hoping to get the out of bounds, but hoping to then retroactively get the foul. I don't love any of that, but rules are the rules. And so now we see. And the other story here is, of course, Anthony Edwards. And Anthony Edwards, who is putting a whole lot of pelts on his wall at such a young age. We have now seen Anthony Edwards knock Kevin Durant and Devin Booker out of a playoff series. Nikola Jokic out of a playoff series. Then get bounced by Luka and say, I was out of gas. And he now is this close to knocking LeBron James and Luka Doncic out of a playoff series. In a postseason where through 4 games, he's averaging 38 and 6 on 43% from 3, 45, 43, 83 splits. Listen, he can say all he wants about not wanting to be the face of the league. And the fact of the matter is, as long as LeBron and Steph are playing, that spot is probably not really open. But his charisma, his style, his competitiveness, his athleticism, his ferocity, his fearlessness, all of that is face of the league stuff. And it certainly doesn't hurt that folks in the media seem convinced he looks like and reminds them of Michael Jordan. And so it's a huge moment for Ant. And Ant then, I just mentioned, beat Durant, beat Joker, is this close to beating LeBron and Luka, and then in the next round would have a chance to beat Steph. Now, I still think Houston has a shot in that series, but obviously Golden State's in great position and is the favorite right now. He's building quite the resume at 23 years old. And it's really, really impressive. And credit to Chris Finch and that entire... Listen, Jaden McDaniels has been awesome. I think Rudy has had his moments on the on the defensive end, more than his moments. He's been good on the defensive end, but his total inability to take advantage of the Lakers' lack of size has been a little embarrassing. And I understand he's not an offensive player, but he's not a 4-point-a-game guy. In the regular season, he's 12 points a game. In this series, he's been a 0 on offense. It hasn't mattered because Ant's been that good. Julius is exercising some playoff demons. Jaden's been great. And then Naz, they've had different role players step up. And so they've gotten away with the fact that Mike Conley was about as unplayable as I thought he would be. That's the crazy part to me about this series. A lot of my pre-series analysis of Gobert's not going to take advantage of their lack of size. Conley's not going to be playable. You can pencil Luka in for 30 a game, and LeBron will be great. They've come to fruition, and it hasn't mattered. Because the Lakers have been the fourth quarter margins in this series have been mortifying. Game 1, 23-17. So the Timberwolves are +6. Game 2, the Lakers won it, but it was 20-13. So now the Timberwolves are +7. Game +7 there, so +13 overall. Game 3, 30-20. So now the Timberwolves are +17. Game 4, 32-19. So now the Timberwolves are +30. You lose the fourth quarters by 30 points in an otherwise tightly contested series, you're in terrible shape. And so, shout out to the Timberwolves. This was truly a wake up in the middle of the night, think about it game. And it is obviously a think about all offseason game if this series goes the way one thinks it's likely to go. I mean, I'll look right now. The series odds, they've got to be like -1,000, right? Series markets, -500. -1,000, I guess, was too strong. So that means the Lakers must be big favorites. Let me check with our friends at DraftKings, and then I'm going to tell you about DraftKings. Lakers 5.5-point favorites, game 5. Yeah, but Lakers, who went into this postseason with 17-1 to win the title, now 40-1, and honestly, that feels a little strong because even if they were to execute the 3-1 comeback, what legs are they going to have for round 2, much less round 3 and 4, which doesn't seem to be, it's going to be a problem they have to deal with. The 82-game grind is done, and now the real fun begins. The NBA playoffs are here. Time for all the high-stakes drama, clutch moments, and jaw-dropping plays. I know you can't wait. If you're looking to make the playoffs even more exciting, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered as an official sports betting partner of the NBA. From the play-in games all the way through to the finals, now's the time to back your favorite players and teams as they chase glory. All season long, DraftKings has been the go-to spot for NBA player props, and that doesn't stop now. Want to make your playoff experience even more intense? Try placing a bet on your favorite player's performance. Will they drop 30, 40, or more? It's your call. Ready to place your first bet? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, lock in your bets, and let's make this playoff run unforgettable. Here's something special for first-timers, new DraftKings customers. Bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Make it a playoff run to remember with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WRIGHT. That's code WRIGHT for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. All right. Some other quick hitters from the weekend. I thought Steph was unbelievable Saturday evening. And it wasn't just that he was getting beat up the whole game. And it wasn't just that the Rockets understood if we can somehow contain him, the Warriors have no other offense. It was his just otherworldly stamina from start to finish in that game, in a game that it would have been really easy for the Warriors and for Steph to say, okay, we don't have Jimmy. Houston was dialed that first quarter defensively. They're going to be beating us up. And Steph very early on didn't have it going. Okay, no problem. Long series, Jimmy will be back. And instead, Steph answers with 36, 7, and 9. In his 41 minutes, they're plus 18, which means in the 7 minutes he sat, they were minus 7. They needed one other guy to show up offensively. They got two other guys to show up offensively. Gary Payton II and obviously Buddy hit the huge threes. And the Rockets, on the other hand, Jalen Green responds to his 38-point game with his fifth single-digit game in his last 6 games. Jalen Green has not been the same guy since they clinched that 2 seed. Now, his minutes weren't the same at the end of the regular season, but still, he had the one explosion in Game 3, gets utterly shut down. The Warriors and Fred VanVleet, after hitting 2 threes to open that game, went right back to what he had been. He was 2 for 2 to start the game, 3 for 12 and 1 for 7 from 3 the rest of the way. He's been brutal this series. Şengün not quite involved enough and probably should have been playing more minutes. I know he had some foul trouble. But the Warriors' plan of Amen Thompson, take all the shots you want, buddy. We don't care if they're from 7 feet, has been great. Draymond, who's been nothing but triple singles in this series, had another great defensive performance. They got by with Quentin Post not being able to hit a shot. And you would think the Rockets would sign up for any game. The 3-point discrepancy is only 3 made threes difference. The Rockets will say, okay, no problem. The Warriors only outshot them from 3, 14-11. The Rockets got to the line 9 more times, couldn't make their free throws. But the Rockets' turnovers, which they've got to win that battle, the Rockets have shied from the Steven Adams, Şengün double big minutes for a reason that I don't totally understand. And the Warriors overcame a fourth quarter deficit. Granted, it was 2 points, but still, for a dominant fourth quarter where Steph was brilliant and took control of that series. Retook control of that series, I should say. And so I still think this 7-game series, I still think and we'll see what how Jimmy looks when he comes back. But that was a gritty, great win by the Warriors and by Steph. Great win. And I think that it's Steph or Ant for who's been the best player this postseason. And Steph doing that at 37 is remarkable. And none of that, the people, Warriors fans, and it's so, I said this on the pod on Thursday, but I'll say it again. these folks who don't have any type of microphone other than their Twitter feed, acting as if those of us who have actual platforms are obligated to comment on everything via Twitter because that's their platform. It's just out to lunch levels of cluelessness. The idea that, where's Nick's commentary now on Warriors Rockets? I don't know, man. Probably on the podcast, YouTube show, or TV show that I'm doing 20 hours of content every single week. You'll probably get it there. But those folks that are upset about the "we know the rules with Steph Curry" clip, as if this game contradicts it. No, this game, if anything, watch the commentary today. We get on Steph Curry. It'll just confirm it. When he's great, he's in the GOAT conversation and he's better than Magic Johnson. And when he's not, we move on to the next thing. That's just what it is. And but when he's great, and he has been great this postseason, and he's 37 years old, it's the best small guy, old guy season ever. And he deserves massive credit. And then the other, listen, I don't even want, we'll do it on Tuesday, the Dame injury part. But the shock waves of Dame reportedly blowing his Achilles and therefore being out all of next year are going to be felt throughout this offseason. And you feel sick for Dame. And obviously, people are going to jump to what it means for Giannis. Dame has a 2-year, $112 million contract extension that has not started yet. Starts next season. So Dame will be fine money-wise, but you worry about, obviously, what this means for an all-time great player's career. So we'll do more of that tomorrow. The other story from the weekend is the Clippers' furious fourth quarter comeback in a game much like the Laker game, where it was like, listen, we trust these 5 guys. We're playing these 5 guys for the Nuggets. And those 5 guys ran out of gas at the end. But thanks to, and I thought in a game, Joker was awesome. I mean, he hit 36, 21, and 8. 36, 21, and 8. I thought Joker's decision on that last possession of, I don't care if it's a good shot or not, I'm taking it, was very un-Joker-like. Maybe you have that luxury because it's a tie game more so than otherwise. I was shocked by that decision when it was clear it wasn't going to be a good look. But maybe he was like, man, Jamal doesn't have it tonight. Porter's injured. And I mean, Porter played tough and played well through the injury. And you're not going to trust Christian Brown in that spot, and Aaron Gordon you're not going to want to play for. I get it. So maybe it's more reasonable than I thought. But the Aaron Gordon buzzer-beating dunk to tie a series rather than go down 3-1 is really the stuff of legends. And it is such a stomach punch for the Clippers in a game that it looked like they were going to. It was such a weird game in that the first half is back and forth the whole time, as tightly contested as you get. Denver then absolutely blitzes them in the second half to be up 20 going into the fourth quarter of a playoff game. Up 20. And the Clippers then more than chip away. The Clippers, thanks to a great Norman Powell game, Zubac doing his thing on the offensive end, even though he got absolutely crushed on the other end. Some timely plays by Kawhi. You saw playoff James Harden show up a bit. And despite the fact that the Nuggets were basically telling Chris Dunn, shoot all you want, buddy, we're not worried about you. Clippers still in position to steal it. And that play by Aaron Gordon changes the entire complexion of that series. And now, listen, maybe you can say, oh, well, the Nuggets could have won in overtime. They could have won in overtime, but they were so gassed. It's the same way I felt once the Lakers went down 3 with 10 seconds left yesterday. When Ant makes both those free throws, the game's over. Because even if Austin makes that shot, the Lakers were on fumes. And you just felt like that game was going to be a wrap in overtime. And that's how I felt when I saw Jokic put up that shot. It's like, okay, well, they're going to lose. Aaron Gordon, by maybe 1/100th of a second, saves them. And now we have a great series there in Oklahoma City, which I know this is going to sound shitty and Oklahoma City fans are going to be upset. As unimpressive in a sweep as I can remember, it just didn't look the last couple games the way you would have wanted it to look. But maybe they felt correctly like, man, we can play our C- game and Memphis still can't take a game from us. And they were right. So now you're going to have Oklahoma City resting and chilling, watching what is going to be a 7-game slugfest between the Clippers and the Nuggets. All right, this was a little cathartic. I can't say I feel better, but maybe a little bit, I don't know, less anxious about what was a what-if weekend for the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron and Luka. And we'll see how they look on Wednesday, but I'll remember this weekend as the weekend when the Lakers championship hopes went to die. And God, nothing would make me happier than a month from now, folks sending me this clip. Oh, you lost faith. Look at them now. I've never wanted to be wrong about a take more than I want to be wrong about this one. But it feels like the Lakers season ended this weekend. And it shouldn't have. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow with DeMonze. What's right?